Hello, it is Molly Reamer with Bridges Grove and 30 Days of Goddess with a prayer book flip through of my June prayer book. This month I used a mood tracker from Kelly Lincoln of Dancing Goddess Dolls. Again, at the beginning, this has the double benefit of reinforcing the cover, while also I found it way more convenient to put these in the front than in the back. If you've seen some of my other videos, I was previously putting them in the back and then I kept not actually doing them. A sticker from Mindy Choi of the Be Seen Project, and I did not color the moon wheel this time, and that's okay. I did color those on the car trip on the way home from Ohio. Oh, I forgot to put my rune in. I'll have to go back and add that. I'm a big proponent of not making yourself go back to catch up with anything, but sometimes if I notice some little small piece like that I've overlooked, I will go back and fix it. However, I do find it is a life-changing magic to not make yourself go backwards and just keep going. And that's not in a, capitalist, endless hustle culture kind of attitude, but just a freeing yourself from the sensation that you must before you can go on. Letting go of that I must before I can go on, I find is one of the most liberating ways to keep going with a daily spiritual practice and to keep moving on a goddess-centered path and not get stagnated or stalled out thinking that you have to do something in order to do something else. So this month I used my own little cut your own expansion pack cards a lot, as well as my little daily affirmation graphics. These I create to share on social media, but also in the Goddess Magic community on Facebook, which is a benefit of the Goddess Magic community on Patreon, patreon.com/BridgesGrove. I'm thinking about ways to kind of simplify going forward the rest of this year. And as I hear myself with all these possibilities, I am reminded of why I'm looking at simplifying. Anyway, and so then I use the cut your own a lot. I find it really, nice to have the shape, so to speak, for the days. The stickers are from Water of Whimsy. This month I'm one of their patrons with the monthly sticker club. And then what's that? Oh, a prayer from I had some fun with some different kinds of pages this month. And so this one was a card, I believe, from Amanda Fall of the Phoenix Soul. And so I used it, and it opens up. And then, oh yeah, it was from Amanda Fall because that was a picture she sent me. And then this was the kind of packaging for Water of Whimsy. So I used it as its own thing. This is a pocket too, but I didn't put anything in it. And this opens up too. I was feeling kind of delighted with myself for making these kinds of pages with the opening up extra levels. This poem, oh yeah, this one, I was also using these cards from Effie Wild with Book of Days, and I used a lot of these. You'll see them popping up. I printed multiple copies, so you'll sometimes see the same card reused. This day we took our son to get his driver's license, and this was the driver's license admin his business card that was there, and so I took it and plopped some stickers on the front, and there you go. And then this note, which was also from Amanda Fall of the Phoenix Soul, about joy, which I really enjoyed that poem. It was a little too long, and so it was folded in the card from her, so I made it like that and then used my daily post graphic on it. That way. Sometimes it's hard to put my stuff back one-handed, and so that's just is what it is. Yeah, I was really feeling the fold-out cards, especially at the beginning of the month. This was a poem I'd sent out with our newsletter. And Symbol Seekers cards that I referenced before that I created last year with Fiona's of Global Village, which is Symbol Seeker's Journey. And then I like the framing of having the word and the printed cards. I've been getting stuff printed at Staples and enjoying that. And it just gives me kind of a shape to things that I've been appreciating. Oh, that's not stuck. Or does not lift up. Oh, and that doesn't have anything on the back of it. Another Effie Wild card. So there's a similarity to some of my pages this month because I am using some of the same components. But as I said, sometimes I like all the pages being completely different and freeform, and sometimes I like kind of having a shape for them so that I know it becomes kind of a ritual into itself to sit down, pick my little card, match the word up, get a prayer and read it, get the little post graphic companion. And I think I didn't finish saying that I make those available as a handout to the Goddess Magic Patreon community, and then so they have them in advance, and then I post them every day via social media, so they kind of have multiple purposes. And I find the kind of the rhythm of having the certain elements, I pick my rune out. There's my rune. Oh, I pick my rune out for the day too. So it's kind of like there's a ritual formed in the selection of the components, especially if you know what you're going to use every day. So like I'm going to pick my word, I'm going to pick my card, I'm going to get my little Effie Wild thing, I'm going to use my post graphic, and it kind of gives you like a shape. Little note for my little one. I keep forgetting if I've made things into cards that lift up, because I was really feeling the lift up card thing. And so I thought that rose actually lifted, but it does not. These, I ordered some teeny tiny little birds to stick on top of our mushrooms, our little stone mushrooms that we sell in the Etsy shop. And it came packaged so sweetly, and it had those little flowers tied on the top. And so I, of course, kept them and put them in. The box was tied with little string, and so I tied it around. This time I stuck my rune. I think that little note was there too and said like thank you or something. So I stuck it down and made it into a little tag to put in my thing. There's things everywhere. Those little cat tarot card stickers came from Fiona as well. And the little fabric, this is actually fabric, not paper, and it was wrapping, I think, for the little birds. I can't remember exactly right now. But there really are things everywhere that you can use for your prayer book. And part of the practice I find almost is being an alert for those things, those little small dollops of magic and little scraps of joy that you can find. And then your book becomes a holding place, a sacred space, a portable temple that holds all of those little bits of wisdom, those little bits of learning, those little bits of enchantment. And this, I did a Dream Blossoms guest speaking for Woman Spirit Reclamation with Monette Chilson. That the recording from it is available to the Goddess Magic patrons, the plus level. That's available to you there. But there's my own little Dream Blossoms mandala that I had put in as well. And then this paper is from my notes I had printed out to share some things with that as part of that presentation. And so usually when I hold a ritual or give a presentation or do an event, I then keep parts of my own notes and use them in the book. That's that same little picture that I've used quite a few times from Kimberly Rodriguez, Poeta Goddess, and I love that. And so she pops up repeatedly because it's really a favorite thing for me. And then this was a card as well. Again, I used a Water of Whimsy background. One of my own Symbol Seekers cards. Oh, that was the driver's license. I started to get, I was sick in June, I'm not sure what it was. I had a negative COVID test, but it really lingered almost the entire month and really impacted my enjoyment or time that I had to spend on new writing and on new pages, because I just felt really depleted, and it went on and 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 on. I lost my voice for days and that kind of thing. I loved this picture, had to put it in for flower. I've said before, I don't always choose the images that go with the prompt word. The prompt word I use for writing, so I make sure that I use the word in my writing. There's other people who participate in this practice who really do amazingly beautifully integrated art page with the word. I tend to connect my writing to the word, and then the page is kind of what's on my mind, or what's attractive to me, or what goes good together, or simply like just what I feel like. It's very spontaneous. However, sometimes I find that what I spontaneously am picking really connects neatly to the word, and then sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, if the word is flower and I have this picture, I have to use it. This was a bookmark tag for my daughter. And these were some little note cards that I had gotten to send out. And I kept some of them, what seemed a little too toxic positivity-ish, but then that one fit with the no rain, no flower. We had an event, a summer solstice ritual, and I gave everybody a little moon patch, and so I kept my own little moon patch and glued it in my book, which works. And then I kept a sprig. We made a summer nature mandala together outside at the end of the ritual, and I had brought a hydrangea bloom for the center for my grandmother's memorial hydrangea bush, and I kept a piece of it and pressed it into my prayer book from that. And then again, the little note is one of the readings from the ritual, and I just keep it as kind of a little reminder. These books really become really multifaceted with what they are. You know, are they a journal? Are they a prayer book? Are they a book of shadows? Are they a tiny temple? To me, the tiny temple description is the most apt, because it's something that holds my magic and makes a space for my magic. This was a cute little business card. This was one of the days that I didn't have much time and wasn't feeling very good. Again, with the fold outs, I was interested in fold outs. That comes from our LaCroix box. The kids drink a lot of LaCroix. And then this was from our family summer solstice ritual. And so I pressed one of the roses from and some of the clover from our cake and centerpiece. And then reminded myself, oops, of that little message. The art, I just loved this art image, and it came from I think it was an Audubon Society magazine article, and I'd saved it for just the right time. It's actually about climate change and bird migration and things like that, and it was a very sobering article, and the art was lovely to include. So yes, even more joy. And then those were some bits from our ritual as well. This is the back of some packaging for some note cards. So I didn't actually color, it was already colored like that. And the center of it had kind of like, these note cards are blah, blah, blah. And so, I stuck one of my Symbol Seekers cards down in that. I was really enchanted by wild pink roses. I'm always enchanted by wild pink roses, but I was enchanted with them this month. And so I made sure to press one in. These stickers, Lisa Lundeen from the group had clued me in about a book of kind of everything. I think it's called Everything is Made of Magic sticker book that I got on Amazon. So you'll start to see those stickers popping up a lot in this month's book, because I was really, I really like having them to kind of fill in the cracks. You know, if there's a space left over here, well, hey, I'll see what my Everything is Made of Magic book has to offer to me. That's from Kelly Lincoln of Dancing Goddess Dolls again. This was cut out of an Arbor Day Foundation newsletter that I get, and it was pink dogwood. I thought it was really pretty, so I used it as a background. You really can, mushroom tea bag, you really can find little scraps of magic everywhere. This was, we went to town and had a date, went on a walk, and I picked a little tiny piece of chicory while we were on our walk and put it in there. And the art is from Kimberly Rodriguez of Poetic Goddess as well, and so I colored that. Another card from Effie Wild. See, this one definitely. Oh, and I got the winged heart, and it was fly, and I had the bird, and I had the other bird, and so that was awesome connection. Then we left to go on a trip. This was Prana Devi from our group had sent me some sweet little gifts, and it was sealed with sealing wax, and so I made sure to peel that off and used it in my book. So this was the day we were traveling. We went to visit Mark's family in Ohio. And you know, I still work on prayer book pages. It's not comfortable. It's not my favorite thing to do, to work on prayer book pages in the car. But because of the unique tiny temple aspect, it can go with you anywhere, and you have your magic with you at anywhere. So this was actually a pressed flower from our sushi date. They put flowers on the plate, you know, and so I kept it and pressed it in my prayer book. And this also was from the sushi date. That's mint that was on the plate. And Tanner made that little guy. This was a long, tiring day, and this was pretty much the only page I had time for, and that's okay. We walked, and there were some ginkgo trees. We got some new little affirmation cards. People who are members of the Goddess Magic community will be seeing one or two of those in their future magic mail. Sweet little coloring page. Ink cap mushrooms from Joni Ray of Tales of a Kitchen Witch. So I colored and worked on that. And we went to the rose garden, and so I used my sticker book to get some rose stickers in there. And put them onto, I believe, is this a business card from the yes, this is a business card from the hotel where we were staying. So you can find little bits of prayer book magic everywhere, I promise. Then we were on our way home already, and I used our key card from the hotel to hold my little note for the day, which I thought was pretty cute of me. Made a little book with some leftover prayer cards from the back. And then since June has 30 days, but there's still 31, I end up using some leftover material to put in the back. 2 more coloring pages from Joni Ray of Tales of a Kitchen Witch, one that I had time to color and one that I did not. And so I know that it can bother some people to leave things like that undone, and it kind of bothers me just a tiny bit, like, oh dang, I should go back and color it. But guess what? June is now complete. One of the things I like about the 30-day container is that it gives you space to kind of close something down, review it, lay it aside, and pick the next thing up with intention and mindfulness. And so, excuse me, I think I'm going to sneeze. Never mind, sorry about that. And one of the things that, as I mentioned, I find liberating is just to say, you know what, I didn't color both of those, and that's okay. Then this is a postcard from my long-distance friend, Travis, who works at the Library of Congress, and he sent me a picture. He said he sent me a postcard. He said this is the pretty building and not the building that he actually works in. And then, again, bringing home this theme of not necessarily being able to finish everything, I used a bigger print of one of Joni Ray's cool deity prints, coloring pages, and I didn't get to color it all the way either, and that is okay. And then I got Tanner a moon phase t-shirt that was glow in the dark, and I thought, yes, may we all glow in the dark. And so, yeah, that's like kind of my closing lesson or something from this month is don't let yourself be held back by what is unfinished. move forward anyway if that's where the heart and soul lead. And I colored that. And these pages were reinforced with poem cards of my own. Oh, on this side with a poem card of my own, and this side with a Poetic Goddess card. And then I will shortly, in the next few minutes, go through all the little bits and pieces that are left in the back that I didn't use. Larger prints from Effie Wild. More coloring pages. I will go through those things and transfer what I want to transfer into July's book. And my own ideas for Summer Magic print I made into a pocket. So this is where I kept my runes for each day, as well as other little bits and pieces. So I will empty all that stuff out. Anything left in here will